2XKO's first big tournament happened last weekend, which means we now know a lot more about the game. We have our first champion, our first look at the meta, and some incredible matches to watch. Okay, so 2XKO, the 2XKO side event at Evo France, wrapped up this weekend, and it was a really great competitive start to the game.
The air tech to escape. Darius, he's taking so much damage and he's not even really been on the field! Alright, super, activate!
This
Echo
whole round has been so weird, but it doesn't matter. All that matters is how it ends. Supernoon has such a comeback to make, but will not be able to do it! Wawa manages to be your first ever 2XKO champion here at Evo Nice.
Wawa, best known for his time as one of the best Dragon Ball FighterZ players in the world, took home the first ever big trophy for 2XKO on his home turf. But Wawa isn't just a Dragon Ball FighterZ player. He was also an amazing King of Fighters player back when he was a literal child. He's been around for a long time. But this weekend, he triumphed over some pretty incredible players. Guys like Sonic Fox, Supernoon, Leffen, Mystic Smash, Keoma, and Diaphone. Right now, 2XKO is kind of reminding me of Dragon Ball FighterZ, where we saw a bunch of players from different scenes converge on one new game. That said, a lot of these guys also played Dragon Ball FighterZ, so maybe they're just all tag fighter degenerates. Anyway, Wawa looked incredible in the bracket, playing Yasuo and Echo and showing off some of the insane mix-ups that are possible in 2XKO. Like, look at this mix-up. From basically round start, Yasuo Stinger, call Echo, pressure with Yasuo, tag to Echo, switch sides, hold down heavy with Echo, tag back to Yasuo and go low, release heavy so Echo heavy connects, Yasuo goes overhead. Tons of layers with a lot of spots for variation, and super hard to block. Wawa's team is really oriented towards high-speed, aggressive play, which is giving us a look at one of the ways that 2XKO might develop. The damage potential in this game is crazy, so players in top 8 were doing their best not to overextend in neutral. It doesn't feel like a game where you want to take big risks. That said, what separated Wawa from the pack was how good he was at capitalizing on a stray opening. So many times, Wawa found a random hit with an assist and handshake tagged for a combo, or saw a moment to handshake tag for a punish that would have otherwise been impossible. He even had some super clutch parries. Sonic Fox pointed out that Wawa was using the screen freeze you get during a handshake tag to get a few extra frames for reaction time for a parry. It's really impressive tech.
Opening up big already. Now this is going to be the name of the game, especially with the Warwick Echo team. It's just in-your-face offense from start to finish. Good block on the overhead, though. Wow,
and the parry! All right, we're getting sweaty already. We block those mix-ups. We parry the incoming.
Wawa was an absolutely deserving first champion, and is definitely a player to watch as 2XKO develops. But Wawa wasn't the only player who really impressed me this weekend. Leffen rocked up to Nice with a super unique Teemo Yasuo team, built around using Teemo's Bandle Sky Patrol super, tagging back to Yasuo and mixing up the opponent behind a hail of blow darts. Leffen made top 8 using a brand new week 1 character. That is extremely impressive. It seems like he's committed to Teemo too, so it'll be really interesting to see how he develops this character. And then Sonic Fox, true to their horny ass tweets, rolled up with Warwick and placed 3rd. Just like Teemo, Warwick came out just a few days before Evo France, and while Sonic thinks that Warwick needs a different teammate, they absolutely shredded people in the bracket.
Not gonna need bleed when your opponent's that weak. Uh-oh. There's the pickup from Fox, however. The break. Yeah, out of here. No!
Walks into it!
That is not a happy birthday you want to take, even on the best of days. That is doing so much damage to both characters, and it's going to continue.
Wait, hang on, is he gone?
I think that's 2XKO. I think that might be 2XKO. Oh, 2XKO! Sonic Fox!
Sonic Fox was probably the tournament favorite, given their insane preternatural fighting game skills and all their success in Dragon Ball FighterZ, the last big tag game. This wasn't the most serious, high-stakes tournament of all time, but it was a really good first showing for the game, and proof that the field is still really open, both for characters and players. That said, some people already have concerns about character diversity. Cat Cammy noted that there were 13 Yasuos and 12 Echoes in top 32, much more than basically any other character. year. Yasuo or Echo appeared in 7 of the top 8 teams, with only Wawa picking both. Mystic Smash, who plays Alawi and Jinx, was the only player who went deep without choosing either of 2XKO's early frontrunners for top tier. It makes sense that Yasuo and Echo are 2 of the strongest characters in the game right now. They both have really good damage output and assists that are really strong in what appears to be the current meta. Right now, players are using assists that reach far in neutral and either handshake tag to hit confirm, or dash up and punish an opponent overextending and trying to hit your assist. Both Yasuo and Echo have great movement and range to help them punish overextensions, and they have great horizontal assists to poke with and confirm off of in neutral. So yeah, it makes sense that Yasuo and Echo are already the 2 strongest characters. Now, Riot did actually nerf Yasuo going into the early access patch, so they're willing to rein in strong characters. But I think all of this is actually fine. We are still in the very early days of 2XKO. We don't know how the game or meta will develop over time. Someone is always going to be the best character in the game. Why not Yasuo or Echo? I understand I am saying this as an Echo main, so I probably have some bias, but please stick with me. Like I said earlier, Leffen and Sonic Fox top 8'd with week 1 characters. There is a lot to learn about this game still, and they proved it. Plus, this is still a very small roster. Riot is going to be adding a lot of characters in the next year, and maybe the meta changes on a dime if they introduce a character with a really good beam assist who stifles this full screen strike assist meta. Who knows? I just don't think we need to be clamoring for Yasuo and Echo nerfs right now. Maybe eventually, if they do prove to be that much better than the rest of the cast. But right now, they're filling a role that other characters don't. And honestly, they're just really fun to play and watch. It's not a bad thing that the top tiers are fun. Hopefully, we have a lot of years of playing 2XKO ahead of us. Let's just enjoy this early meta and discover what we can. That said, Riot does need to change the rotating shop. That shit sucks. I was in Nice last weekend, but I didn't go to Evo, which is very funny. I was just there on vacation. I was on the beach instead of going to Evo, and I kind of slightly regret my decision, but not really. I had a really good time on the beach. It was really funny walking around like beautiful Mediterranean vistas and just like seeing FGC people everywhere. Definitely a lot nicer than Vegas as an Evo destination.